Welcome, Swooper friends, to yet another Moisture Farm podcast. We're the only farm where getting wet isn't just encouraged, it's mandatory. One might even say it moist. Moist is wonderful here. We like being moist. Thank you for joining us today. We've got another exciting podcast for you. Going to do some spoiler talk, some looking at some of the keywords that are coming out with the new set, and we'll get a little bit off the Star Wars topic just for some fun. But first, we want to do an ad read, as today has been brought to you by Cantina Bouncer. Now tossing bodies and drinks since 0 BBY. That is the Battle of Yavin when the Death Star was destroyed for those that might not quite be in the know. From Star Wars Unlimited. Some cards deal damage, some cards build strategy. This one throws people through windows. Introducing Cantina Bouncer, the grumpy enforcer who's seen too much, showered too little, and will gladly eat your opponent's dreams across the bar. One cost? Yes. Mercy? Never. No shoes, no shirt, no pulse, you're still out. Tactically removes problems and occasionally spleens. You think your elite trooper's safe? Wrong. The Bouncer don't care if you're a Jedi or a Jawa. If you cause a ruckus, you're taking the express lane to the alley out back. He doesn't ask questions, he doesn't fill out reports, he just removes limbs and liabilities. Cantina Bouncer, now available in Star Wars Unlimited. He's not here to wait a minute, that's another game. Sorry, to duel. He's here to clean up the blood. Thank you, Cantina Bouncer. Alrighty, folks.
Well done.
So let's get into what we have been doing this last week, what we've been playing. Let's go with Robert first. What's your week been like, sir? Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for that report. And PJ.
I was able to play SWO at my FLGS last week. There was only one other player. I'm starting to feel bad because I am not playing competitive decks. I I'm not playing competitive decks, but I am consistently winning every single match, and it kind of feels bad after a while. I wish I had more folks at my shop, and or I could switch to a different shop so that everybody could learn and grow together. That's what I'll say.
Fair enough. Do you have any thoughts on what the issue might be? Do you think it's collection of your opponents? Do you think it is skill level? Any insight on that?
I think it's some of all of the above. There are times when, like for instance, I've already claimed initiative and he leaves unexhausted units on the table and doesn't attack my base without sentinel up type of stuff, right? Like there is 100% some basic level misplays, but I haven't gotten the impression from him that he is interested in me providing feedback. There was one really close game we had, and I told him that if he had been more aggressive, it was his to win. And also things that you guys have shown me regarding like turn order sequencing. So like generally speaking, if when your turn starts and you have an unexhausted unit on the table, you probably want to attack with it before you summon any units or like put in an upgrade or something like that, right? If you're playing an event card that may be different, like barrel roll is an example. You play barrel roll, you attack with a unit because of barrel roll, and you exhaust an enemy unit. Like that would be the appropriate way to do that. But he's not. I'm not. There. There is some tempo, I guess, a lack of tempo understanding on his part, and
Hmm.
I am not receiving vibes from him that say he is necessarily interested in my feedback or my suggestions. And I like to think I'm pretty good at picking up on that sort of thing, just generally speaking.
Okay, it's too bad that you have somebody that's not interested in learning and improving. I always like having players that like to improve, like that. Feels like part of playing the game.
I've thought about asking him if he wants to swap decks, like play a match, and then we swap decks and we see how it goes, because that would also then give me a much better idea about how, like, where the deficiency might be. Is it in the deck building? Is it in his play, etc., etc.?
Stuff. Well, give us some reports and see if he's open to that. I'll be very interested to hear. Mr. PJ, how has your week been?
It's been a very busy week. So day after last week's pod, Thursday, we went to the Escalation League where we had a pretty good time. I played, I think, about 5 games and I lost 4 of them. Uh, the the hot meta at Red Castle seems to be boba, and if you get all the tools in this limited format for boba and sealed, it's pretty tremendous. It's just very strong between the Mandalorian pilot, TIE bombers. Uh, there's a whole arsenal of things that he can throw at you.
Makes a
Uh,
lot of sense for the limited format.
Droid missile
Boba's
platform.
hot.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Boba's really good. Another really good one is Luke and Boba and Rose Tico. Rose Tico is so surprisingly good if she gets the right cards. Um, so I've come upon new respect for Rose Tico. Uh, this next Thursday is um this tomorrow, excuse me. Tomorrow is the last day of the league, and we're gonna do a tournament and draft a Carbonite pack, and I'm really looking forward to that. The weekend was super busy with uh, work and also my company banquet. I really enjoyed that. The food was amazing. Got to gamble with Buffalo Wild Wings and doing horse races and watching people cheat on their phones. I mean, because they were pre-recorded horse races and they gave us a
God,
pamphlet. They gave us a pamphlet with the odds of each race, and they did 10 races. And so people were just pulling out their phones and cross-referencing the names of the horses.
See what happened? Absolutely.
Yeah, so
that's
that's humans, we game every system. And so yeah, I
humans
got
are
some
why we
raffle
can't have nice
tickets
things.
and did that whole thing. I ate so many hors d'oeuvres. One in particular was this butter biscuit with a chunk of pork belly on top, and on top of the pork belly was a jalapeno jelly, and it was just tremendous.
And you
I
didn't,
probably
then you didn't share, you didn't FedEx any, you didn't.
Nah,
No, he
bro.
doesn't love us.
Nah, bro. I ate a tray to myself.
He's
It
like,
was
nope, not a fucking
it was
chance.
shameful. There was crumbs all over my beard. It's pretty fantastic. And yeah, then Monday did Marvel Champions, and Gideon did Twin Suns, and he seemed to have a good time. He got from his Carbonite draft a uh, red, um, red five, red five.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. So I've been good. Just working and staying busy and swinging kettlebells because that makes me feel good about myself.
Do I need to send you heavier kettlebells?
I could use a 30-pound kettlebell, yes.
Okay. Get your swole on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been doing everything with up to 25s, and that's been pretty good, but I could probably up some weight.
Okay.
There we go. So my week, I have once again not played any Star Wars. Not that anybody's surprised with that. I did get to play 2 games of 40K on Saturday. Went 1-1. So that
Nice.
was a lot of fun. Getting to play at the shop. Our little shop is is hopefully getting to move to a larger location where we're hoping to have some dedicated wargaming tables. For nobody or for people that haven't played wargames, having a higher table that you can stand at comfortably is key. If you're standing at a standard height table and bending over, especially as a fat old people, it starts to hurt after a while. So looking forward to having some dedicated wargaming tables and being able to play for a lot longer without as many issues. So otherwise, I work a lot. The life of a salary schmuck. I work and I'd say I go home, but I work from home. So, I work and then I stop working at home. So yeah.
Save
Sounds
on fuel.
Yeah, I do not miss 2 hour each way commutes. Thank you, working from home.
what faction did you play?
I played Emperor's Children, getting used to my new faction, so
Heretical scum.
I am some heretical scum. An excess of heretical scum, you might even say. Alrighty, so looking at news, there is some news certainly. But let us start there. I'm going to share my screen and we can talk over some of the spoilers that came out the other day. Or not really spoilers, these are teasers, definitely.
Well,
Do, do, do.
I mean, some cards have been spoiled, like straight out.
Well, this article is teasers. That's what I was.
Okay.
We'll get to the spoilers. We'll get to the spoilers here in a little bit. So, looking at some of those teasers, and I know that Robert's super excited because he's a Force user aficionado and likes his lightsabers and wants to put them in places that should not be mentioned.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yep. Keep the wrapping, the gift wrap tubes away from Robert. They will be lightsabers immediately. Just saying.
They make a satisfying bonk.
They do. All right, so lots of lightsabers. We're looking at 6 different lightsaber colors.
One
Like
for
that's
each
insane.
color.
That's great. I can't wait to see new lightsabers. And a vehicle where you get to be stronger based on lightsaber upgrades. Like, are you attaching them to the vehicle and making a blender? Like you're attaching them to the wheels, Mad Max style? I don't know. Like that doesn't align with any lore that I'm familiar with, but that I'll be
Irrelevant.
excited to see. Hmm?
Irrelevant.
Well, I
Go
do
on,
like
Carter.
the design here about the 4 different leaders care about non-unit cards. I want to see how that pans out a lot. I like the faceless kind of decks, the decks that have just events and just upgrades and just messing with your opponent, and then you don't have any units that you're playing yourself. I think that they're an interesting way to play the game. I know that Robert is not such a fan of those kind of games, but I think that they're really interesting. You don't like fun, and I don't like you to have fun, so
I don't
works
like
out really
you.
well. That's fair.
Well, it really depends on what's popular because there's the degree of um, unpleasantness with with a lot of denial. However, the game seems to be relatively the pacing seems to be relatively mid-range in general. Like on average, the games are ending in the mid. At least that's my experience. And I think that's ideal because I'm seeing in at least games online, they're coming to a close around 6 to 8 resources, and that's kind of perfect actually. Um, every occasionally I'll lose a game to Sabine, but she's a special case.
6 to 8 resources seems a little fast for me. Like I want more than 6 to 8 turns out of a game, but then as we've talked about before, I'm definitely more of a control player. I like the longer games. I like the puzzle games. And 6 to 8 turns is just not a lot of game.
It's
And
not.
yeah,
Well, I did get decked out a couple times playing my faceless boba, and after a while, I just got really bored with it, and I learned something new about myself. I don't like playing control. Um, Most of the time, I'm like, oh my God, I just want this game to be over because I don't have it in me to to see to the end of my deck, and then although it was interesting, like I had never done that before, and then actually applying damage rules when your deck goes away, which is amazing.
Yeah.
uh,
For
you and I
those,
have always been opposite with that. Like I am the definitely the control player here. So,
and so here's my problem with control decks in this game, and this very well could be a skill level, is and it's probably a skill level and it's probably a deck thing, right? Like the deck isn't fast enough to burn past the stalling out of control. But card removal in this game is really strong. It's relatively cheap compared to powerful unit cost, and it is abundant in blue. And blue has ways to mill your deck. And so every game like that I have played, one, it's taken forever. And like two-thirds of the game time is the opponent looking at their hand, trying to decide which of their four cards to play to prevent me from playing the game. And it's just not fun. It's not playing the game to not play the game is not fun.
Fair enough.
and I'll say that's one of the reasons that I like faceless type of decks. It's not because you're trying to prevent your opponent from playing the game. You're not necessarily discarding their hand. You're you're playing in an unexpected way because most of the time your opponent's hand is based on you having something to be proactive about, against. And by me not having a unit for you to swing into, for me not having a unit for you to play that card, it means that the card that you chose to play, your card is just useless. I'm not making you discard it. Hold on.
I think there's a monster under his desk eating him. Or there's a puppy who needs love.
Yep, yep. I'll be right back.
Yep.
No problem. I also like that there are four different leaders with that explicitly care about non-unit cards. Um, I really like leaders that break the rules in sort of romantic ways. And what I think case in point would be Nala Se, because she can play with clones out of any aspect. And can't Harrison Dula play with specters
Yeah.
out of
So
aspect?
yeah. So Harrison Nula is you ignore all aspect penalties for Spectre cards.
Right. I love that kind of design. I like cards that call out very specific things because it makes it more thematic. Um,
Absolutely.
and and that's why Nalase was my favorite leader out of Twilight because she was just the most interesting thematically and she had the most to offer, I felt.
The Spectre deck really got some love this expansion through a couple of things. One, there were a couple more Spectre cards, two more ship cards that I can recall, and Lake Country as a higher HP non-aspect base. So it says it's a no color base for 34 HP, and that synergizes specifically with a Sabine card, which says when you attack, discard a card. If that card doesn't share an aspect with your base, deal 2 damage to a ground unit. Right? Like it's made for each other, and it's so lovely. and I enjoy playing that deck. I enjoy playing that version of my deck. I know there are multiples going around. There's one version that uses Death Star plans. I
Hmm.
haven't played that one. Um, and it uses Death Star plans and it puts Death Star plans on Sabine. And so basically, the opponent never gets to touch Sabine ever. And so then
That's hilarious.
Sabine is just swinging into you and, pinging on your units because of the discard aspect of it.
Death Star plans. When attached unit is attacked, the attacking player takes control of this upgrade and attaches it to a unit they control. Attached unit gains. The first unit you play each round costs 2 less. Oh boy.
So what you do is you stick it on an enemy, you take it from the enemy, and then Sabine has a when exhausted cannot be um, attacked.
Well, that's dirty. So you just keep her exhausted.
Hmm. So you just make sure you just make sure you control the initiative, and then so when she's exhausted, she can't be attacked, and then your units that you play cost 2 less. That's not bad at all. I mean, the way around that is to use event damage to just myrtleize her,
Hmm.
or uh, any blue card that says "fuck your unit." And there are so many blue cards that say "fuck your unit."
Yeah. Uh, no glory only results has been really, really popular at the shop.
Take control, then defeat it.
Yep.
Ah,
Uh,
ah.
in the escalation league, the cards that seem to be like the most impact that I've seen that have been the most impactful have been the Darth Vader pilot, no glory, only results, and shoot down. Shoot down has been huge.
I wish
There was another one. Hold on. Go ahead.
Shootdown's really good. I wish that a lot more of the event cards were usable. Like penetrating shot has a poor case use because it requires your opponents to be um hmm, could have sworn it was penetrating shot. Piercing. I mean, and so it's two separate sentences, so you don't necessarily need them to have a shield, but
Piercing shot.
3 for 3 isn't super great. Like open fire is 3 for 4, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's very niche.
Yeah. And so we need niche event cards. On the other hand, like that card is probably never gonna get play unless your local meta is super shield heavy with like Yoda or Luke.
I was gonna say piercing shot is an ideal sideboard card.
I'll agree with that. Very much so.
Like if your opponent is running like a shield or they're running Banshee and playing off of Banshee, or they're running a Mando deck that lets you move upgrades around, then yeah, sure.
Well, so for its cost and its damage, it's a wash. But if your opponent has any amount of shields, it's technically +1 damage per shield.
Sure, sure.
And it's
And
better than +1 damage
because it gets
because
rid
it
of
defeats
all of the,
all shields.
and
Yep,
there's a
and it's better than 4 damage because it's two separate instances. It would be like deal 1 and then deal 3.
I was playing online today and I put a targeting computer on a TIE bomber and my opponent laughed at me.
targeting computer so good. And what is that other thing? There's a turret.
The twin laser turret.
It's also niche, but super great. And then the ion cannon is a personal favorite of mine. I love the ion cannon.
I want to get that to work.
Run transports. Transports are cheaper than capital ships.
It's
Super heavy ion cannon, bottom center, all the way down. There you go. And I have a foil of that card, and it looks ridiculously good.
yeah, the pink makes it glow.
Like that is, it's if you can get that to go off once or twice, it pays for itself. And the fact that it
100%.
gives you 3 health on a unit, tasty, tasty.
Mm.
I like that card a lot.
Uh, did we mention that there's going to be 10 total lightsabers in Legends of the Force? I
I
think I
think
already mentioned that.
I think we said 6,
The six different lightsaber colors,
but
but
10 total different
there's going to
lightsabers.
be 10 total lightsabers.
Mm, mm, mm.
That makes me that well, I'm excited about that just for Twin Suns because I'm just gonna make a Twin Suns Jedi deck and put every lightsaber printed in that deck.
Why wouldn't you? And
Why wouldn't I?
some of the lightsabers now are really good. General's blade is really good.
Mhm.
Darth Vader's lightsaber is also super good. Ahsoka's is niche, more like Padawan's blade, but I also think that if you're playing Ahsoka, it's a really good card to have. And there's 3 or 4 different Ahsokas right now, and you know we're getting at least one more Ahsoka card in the X pack in Legends of the Force.
Mhm.
I'm all
I'll
about the
be
snips.
I'll be really interested to see if the lightsabers from the new set key off of particular units or not. I think that's one of the things that I've been not such a fan of is this is almost a blank card if you're not playing it on Vader or playing it on Luke.
Uh,
And it kind of feels
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, there's the Jedi lightsaber and then there's a General's blade, both of which are named unit agnostic, but they
Hmm.
work better if you put them on a Jedi or a Force user.
Which makes sense.
I mean, and honestly, it wouldn't hurt my feelings to see a rule that says lightsabers can't be played on a unit that doesn't have Force keyword, but that's just me being super, super nerdy.
Finn says no. Just
Um,
saying.
I am happy with Finn having the Force keyword.
Well,
Give him
what?
the Force keyword all day.
Well, I'm
And that
curious.
Ray
Well,
Fair
art,
enough.
that Ray art is really good.
very good. I'm
Yes, it
hoping,
is.
I'm hoping that we get events that are lightsaber related. You know, like you know, how many times how cool is it when a Jedi or a Sith is throwing their lightsaber and turning it in the air.
Mm-hmm,
Lightsaber toss.
mm-hmm.
Or something that is better if you're playing it if you have a lightsaber in play. Like, I don't know, lightsaber duel, epic duel.
Epic
You know,
duel.
you each deal damage, but if you have a lightsaber, yours deals damage first. Something like
Hmm.
that.
That would be cool. I'm also thinking about Sword and Shield Maneuver, which is a Twilight of the Republic card that's very niche because there's not enough Jedis to make it work very well, and so that might see a lot of play. I think that's just a straight heroism card.
I believe so. Our recording software doesn't like me going between tabs, so I'm not gonna go between tabs until we
Okay.
finish. Here. So what about thoughts on these subtext?
I was gonna ask, do we want to play the guessing game here? Overeager Apprentice. I saw this list on Reddit and they said Ezra Bridger, and I think that's a really good choice, a really good guess.
Fair enough.
I hope a chance to make things right is the picture of Vader tossing Palpatine off of a cliff.
Down the shaft in the
Or
like in
yeah,
Death Star 2.
that would be funny.
Seething with Ambition really feels like Maul.
Mm-hmm.
or God, I can't remember her name. Third sister, maybe? Although I think the third sister card was spoiled, and I don't think that was on there.
I don't know. Maybe
Third
third sister will get a unit card too, because that's the leader.
sister.
I predict that Where Are We Going is going to have C3PO in it.
100%.
Hero's Beginning could be anything.
Seventh sister. Third sister leader. Here we are.
Following the
Oh,
call.
nope. It is Seething with Ambition, third sister.
Okay. Do you think following the call is going to be Luke when he goes to Dagobah? Dagobah Luke?
It could be. Could be. Um, the third sister art is really good. Um, the unit ability is interesting, but I mean, we already discussed it. We don't think it's going to be particularly competitive. And her stat block is not competitive.
We have not discussed it on the podcast though.
That's true. We have not discussed it on the podcast.
We're talking about the
So,
third sister leader?
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Finding
Uh,
himself. Finding himself. Maybe Ezra Bridger from Ahsoka season one. Hero's Beginning could be Finn. I think um didn't one of the first podcasts from FFG show like some Finn splash artwork holding a lightsaber?
it did, and the spoiler for the new movie has him with a lightsaber again. So,
And dear God, that was such a botched storyline. That would have been so awesome. Former
yes.
stormtrooper is a Jedi. Fuck
Right?
yes. Fuck yes. They did Mr. Boyega wrong.
And I just want to say here for Twilight of the Apprentice, that's going to be another Anakin card. It's just going to be half of him though. This is clearly the duel with Obi-Wan.
It could be that. It could be an Ahsoka card, like where she is kicked out of the Jedi Order before her training is complete, perhaps.
That's fair.
It could be a Darth Maul unit card. What else could that be? Twilight of the Apprentice. Oh,
It could
and it
be
also
Dooku.
could be Dooku because he was apprenticed to Plagueis. And something else to note is that in this article, it specifically says that this set is going to span the widest range across eras that we've seen before. And I think I read something somewhere that said Revan is going to be in it. And so Revan is a Knights of the Old Republic video game character.
We're
And
talking way before any of the current timeline
yeah.
movie shows stuff. Yeah.
And so that means, and if that's the case, if they got permission to do that, that means that anything that's ever been published anywhere is hypothetically on the table.
If Revan's going to be in the set, I I'm saying that Revan is tempted by the dark side. I mean, spoiler for what, 20-year-old game? You're
Yeah,
you're
like, no.
playing, you're Revan. You're tempted by both sides. I,
Yeah.
I can see Revan being tempted by the dark side.
With Palpatine's power, or wait,
Anakin.
I was thinking that too, like maybe where he betrays Mace. I have no idea what folklore awakened.
N-
Folklore?
No, with
Unlocked.
Palpatine's power, it's going to be the scene of him walking into the chamber with all the younglings.
Oh,
Anakin Youngling Killer. If that's the card, I hereby would like the community in whole to just resubtext it as Anakin Youngling Killer.
I doubt that they're going to do that. I really do, but I hope they do. Like, yeah.
Like and then the same scene, right? Like it's just the lightsaber, his fist holding the lightsaber, and then just past the lightsaber, you see the flinching children.
That is, I was gonna say a hero's beginning is the child, the one child in that scene that is kind of singled out, where he goes,
Master Skywalker, what
right
do we
before.
do?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
talk about a story arc that hasn't been done. One of those kids survives and then goes on to have his own journey.
I thought that was done with Jedi Survivor. Isn't that Cal
Yeah.
Kestis?
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure that's Cal.
I didn't realize that.
Oh,
Um,
speaking of which, Cal Kestis card would be amazing.
mm,
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
I want like a fan-made animation of the kids fighting back against Anakin. Like like the kids realize, oh no, no one's coming to save us, and they all just light up.
And what rating would you like to put on that? Do you want PG or do you want R?
Oh, that's got to be R. That's got to be R, and it's got to be animated.
It would,
Yeah,
it
it would
would,
have to be animated.
I think it would give me legitimate trauma to watch that.
Yeah, I would have to talk to someone or someone's for a long time about it.
These keyword team ups were really neat.
Hmm.
Uh, I have lamented that we didn't have more night keywords. We only had like 4 or 5, and so more Night Sisters, more Dathomir stuff would be super great.
Jedi Wookiee, let's go.
I can only think of one Jedi Wookiee, and it was from the Acolyte.
I do hope that they do something with some of these keywords that they aren't necessarily or haven't done in the past. Um,
Undead. I think undead is a whole new keyword.
mhm.
Night undead. Fuck yeah.
Huh.
And we're talking about Night Sisters here.
Bring
Definitely Night
it.
Sisters.
There was a Jedi Wookiee in Bad Batch.
Cool.
Was it the? It makes me wonder if it was the same character. Those timelines are pretty close together. I haven't seen either of them, so
Quite possibly. But damn, you got to be so good not to singe your hair.
I'm really interested in these like villainous Jedi. So like we're dark Jedi, but it's not calling them Sith. Hero cards that directly call out something with the villainy aspect. I think that's interesting design. I want to see how that plays out. And then a unit that lets you play any lightsaber you want for free. I mean that's not as interesting design wise. I'm interested to see how these two go.
It'll be interesting depending on who it is.
How
That
so?
that would well, so like you're okay, I'm just imagining a unit that lets you play any lightsaber you want for free. So it would be it would be comedy if it is a unit that is disarming another Jedi with the Force. Um, or like for example the Darth Vader third sister duel, right? Like he didn't have to disarm her. That was just a flex.
I really liked how they portrayed Darth Vader in the Kenobi series. I was very unhappy with the Kenobi character. It's not Ewan's fault, it's the writer's fault. But I found the Darth Vader character very compelling in Kenobi.
Terrifying for sure.
Like it's really obnoxious that a general of the Clone Wars completely forgets all strategy, all tactics, how and when to use a lightsaber, and starts using blasters instead. Like, what the actual frickety frack? Like, oh, it was so frustrating.
Yeah.
Sith
Uh,
Void,
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I know the character they're talking about, but I don't remember the name of it.
your mom.
I do think this is interesting, like you were talking about with what the extended universe comes into play. So now we're bringing novels in, not just not just visual media. We're bringing in books. I want to know what novel they're talking about. I know it's not one of the, OG 90s novels. It's going to be something more recent, but I want to know. Like this piques my interest bringing in books.
Well, I will 100% go download an audiobook just to know who the character is.
The new Thrawn book was pretty good. If you didn't
Oh,
read
I'll
it,
have to find it.
I have
Is
it
it
here. If you want to borrow it.
yeah, I might grab it when I'm down there. Is it
I re-
Timothy Zahn?
I don't. I think yes, actually it was.
Okay.
I think it actually was.
That makes me happy. Inside.
My favorite series, God, this is so long ago. My favorite Star Wars series, well, there's two. It was X-Wing. I think it was X-Wing Squadron or something like that.
Rogue Squadron?
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue
Those
Squadron
books,
was good.
those books were dope. And also, uh, Dark Saber, the Dark Saber series.
I didn't
When
read the
it's
Darksaber series.
it's the history of like it's when Luke starts training people and Leia is learning how to use the Force. Like the first book opens up with Leia on kind of like an ambassador um, mission to talk to um, a notorious Hutt. And while she's there, she's really on reconnaissance, and she's trying to use the Force powers that she's learning. And then just takes off from there. It's pretty freaking awesome. And then you get to know Ben, her son, uh, in true fashion. Like Kylo is really not her kid. If you want to know who the offspring of Leia and Han Solo are, go read Dark Saber.
Another piece of art that's gorgeous. I'm really impressed with them stepping up their art game for this set. I don't
I
know who
don't.
this character is.
I don't recognize her either. I assume it's some Jedi, even though we don't see a lightsaber. It seems very Jedi-esque.
Yeah, it's very much Jedi robes.
She's like hovering in the air. Like what is happening in this picture?
There's a lot going on. Like there's like starship fighting in the background. It looks like she is inside of a starship, and you can peek out through a canopy, and she's meditating while gesticulating fiercely. It's weird.
It definitely feels abstract as opposed to a specific scene, which I'm down for. It's a cool piece of abstract art. I don't know that it's a specific scene that they're
It
trying to
ha it
recreate
has
here.
the Lucasfilm watermark on the bottom. Do you see that?
I'm pretty sure all their art has the Lucasfilm
Really?
Limited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So different abilities. I want to see what the end of this sentence is, unless its controller says what? Unless its controller says no.
No. Never tell me the odds.
There we go.
Another. It's another Inquisitor card. It looks
Mm-hmm.
so good.
Yep.
Or is that a Knight of Ren? No, that's not a Knight of Ren. That's an
Nope,
Inquisitor.
that's an Inquisitor. Yep.
It looks like an Inquisitor to me.
And this is probably the weakest piece of art, I would say. Just their faces are not strongly
And
drawn, but I would
you,
say that's still pretty good.
you can tell it's Hayden Christensen. You can tell that it is the actor whose name I cannot remember for Obi-Wan. They're much more recognizable, but no, the art style itself is very soft. I think they force ghosted it too much. If
Hmm.
you see what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
And I have conflicted feelings about this particular scene. because it's part of George's re-release, recut, re-edit, and I have feelings about those.
Most people have feelings about this.
On the other
Yeah.
hand, anytime I can see Hayden Christensen somewhere, I'm about it. I am one of those people who definitely have moved towards appreciating him as an actor much more than I did originally.
Fair enough, fair enough. Alrighty, do we want to move into the one keyword that's been spoiled and kind of take a look at some of the spoilers?
Yeah, let's do that. Third Sister would be a good card to throw up for that.
Yep, I just have all of the spoilers pulled up here.
I have to correct something I said. Darksaber wasn't actually the first book. It was the second book. The first book was um,
Your Mama Saber?
the first book was Children of the Jedi, and that was in 1995.
How dare you spread misinformation?
Um, and technically, that book is not part of canon anymore.
That's true, which is why the story sucks now. They just need to go back. They need to go back to the Callista trilogy and start there and move forward.
There, they had such a rich universe they could have adapted that was already beloved by the fans, and they chose not to do that for reasons I do not understand. And I will get super off topic, so we should go back to this card here on the screen.
Sounds
Yep,
good.
yep. Let's not get onto that conversation. So hidden sucks. Hidden sucks a lot.
Does it?
Yes, yes it does. There's
Hmm.
there's no tempo. There's no tempo. It doesn't stop removal. Eh,
And so hidden, if you can't see the screen or you're busy doing something else, it says that key if a unit has the trait hidden, it cannot be attacked if it was deployed this phase. And so hypothetically, ideally, the idea is your unit gets to live for more than 5 seconds. The young Anakin card was spoiled on the FFG podcast, and it also had hidden. And the idea is my unit gets to live for a second, but hidden doesn't prevent removal, etc., etc. Yeah, that Anakin card.
Or indirect damage.
Or indirect damage, or even just grenade strike, right? Like you could grenade strike baby Anakin all day, every day, and hidden wouldn't stop that. Well, but I mean, baby Anakin has a good way around it because he's got shielded when he comes into play. But again, that doesn't prevent just a straight your card doesn't exist anymore maneuver.
return
So
it to your hand, remove it from play, anything like that.
so I will attempt to steel man hidden.
Go for it, brother.
I think that hidden is a keyword that is has been designed um, for a future meta. Hidden right now with the current arsenal of yellow and blue and well, I mean, really all the yellow, blue, and red all have really fantastic removal options, and they do it in different ways. And there's a steady curve starting at 2 all the way up to 7, no 8. So there's no lack of variety and um, uh, synergy with the current removal. My thoughts are when the first rotation happens, hidden is going to be a valuable keyword. I
Because
am
they're going to rotate out all that other stuff.
right. They're going to rotate out some of the pain that people don't like or or effects that are just stale and people are tired of seeing over and over and over again, right? Like Tarkentown. So I think hidden from is a design space keyword, and it's going to be good later. I also think that uh, this keyword 100% has a place in Twin Suns and limited formats. It's going to be
Absolutely.
uh, I'm looking at Third Sister and I'm going like, oh my God, I wish that was happening now in the Escalation League because this would be tremendous fun. So I don't want to say hidden is a bad keyword. I'm rather going to err on the side of caution and say that it is just not a it's just not a good keyword in the current environment.
I
Fair
was going to
enough.
say something very similar. It's designed for a different game. And whether that is the game is next rotation or we need more cards from this set to really empower it, it's designed for not the current state. I I also uh, let me finish really quick. It's a keyword that we've seen before. Magic has this keyword. L5R's had this keyword. Warlords had this keyword. Like every card game has a similar keyword to this. So I wonder if if they had lack of ideas for maybe something, and they just said, well, this is a common CCG keyword that we should get into the game, and maybe we just didn't have a better idea.
Yeah, I can see that. I can also see it as just opening up lines of play, just to give players more options. Also, we don't know if hidden is going to be in any way uniquely synergized. Uh, we don't know if there's going to be units, for example, that get benefits for being hidden, or
While hidden,
units.
you gain ambush, or while hidden, you gain first strike, or.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If they play around with hidden more than just its printed keyword ability, I think that would be interesting.
While hidden, you gain saboteur. Like all three of those would make sense synergistically, thematically, right? Like I am hidden, so I get to go around the sentinel.
Hmm.
While hidden, I get to hit you first, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about Qui-Gon, PJ? You want to talk about your boy?
Oh, well, I'm excited to explore this leader because, well, he has a very interesting and unique ability. When this unit completes an attack and survives, you may return a friendly non-leader unit to its owner's hand. Play a non-villainy unit that costs less than the returned unit from your hand for free. So you pop a 4 back into your hand and you play a 3 or less. Interesting.
It's
And there are
super
all
interesting design.
and there are all sorts of reasons why you might want to pull a unit back into your hand. It has a when played ability. It's got a negative bounty on it. Someone perhaps froze it in carbonite because they're a flaming asshole.
Right.
PJ,
I just like that card a lot.
I know you like that card a lot.
I I like
Perilous
playing it.
position, etc., etc.
I think people are surprised by it because I almost never see it online. So when I play it, it's often an upset.
Yeah, it's really interesting design. I like the card. I also want to point out that you only see half of him in this card, so it is canon.
Yeah,
It's a very
yeah.
canon image for Qui-Gon.
You are a piece of shit.
I know, but you love me anyway.
um, one of these cards is very obviously misaspected.
Hmm.
Watto.
You don't think he belongs in blue?
I think he needs a villainy aspect on top of him.
Oh,
He's a slave owner, and he was not a good person at all.
But he's very independent. He's very much a like, I'm out for me. I'm not out for doing bad things because I'm bad.
he's all about the money.
Rio Durant was
That was
arguably
the
a
worst Watto impression.
was arguably a good guy in that series, but because he was a criminal, he still gets a villainy tag.
Fair.
You
Fair.
can't tell me Rio is a bad guy and Watto isn't.
Fair enough.
Mm-mm.
I do have a
And
question.
yeah,
No, finish your Watto. I was gonna move on.
I was gonna say, and if we can make vehicles bad people, the scythe is right there, and lots of Imperial vehicles are bad people, then we can make a slave owner a bad person too. But please continue.
My question for Owen, if I light the card on fire, do I get extra bonuses?
Mm,
Do I play it and I light it on fire? Do I then get to reveal the top 5 cards of my deck, find a force unit, and then play it for free as well? I
yes, but
just lose my Owen?
only in sealed versions. Only in sealed events does that work for you.
Perfect. Perfect.
Matt, okay, I just gotta say, someone's going to play Owen Lars out of, oh, damn it. Can't believe I'm blinking. Thrawn, right?
Let's
Uh,
Just
do it.
just to be cheeky. I don't know why Thrawn would want some Jedi up in his business, but if they are Jedi with when defeated effects,
I mean, it's force units. It's not
oh,
just
oh, it's not
Jedi.
just Jedi, it's Force, yeah.
Yeah. So,
um, the fact that Watto has is that fringe or force?
Friend.
fringe.
Fringe. Okay, that makes more sense. The card is statted well. It's 103 restore 2 with a win defeated. And so as a unique character, I feel like it's statted well. And I would say that actually it just highlights how bad of a card Third Sister is. If if if, if you look at point stat formula type thing, it, Owen Lars really highlights how poor of a card Third Sister is. She should be at least one resource less.
Agree. Very much agree.
Luthen is a fun card. I really see what they're going for there, but I think he is. You should reduce all of his stats by one, so he should be a 3/4/3 resource in order to make him fit into the tempo better. Because he's my I need a lightsaber dude. That's what he's for.
Also a really good card in limited.
Yep.
If you have items in your deck to run, limited may be limited
You
by
might
the
be
the cards that
low
you pull.
famine.
Yeah,
Well, and uh, it's also important to remember when evaluating cards is that not every card is intended for premier place. A lot of
yeah,
cards are
very
intended
true.
for alternate formats.
I suppose that is true, and that is something I have difficulty keeping in mind.
So I think Luthen Rail is very much a Twin Suns card.
Great there. I'm really interested in Enoch. I think that the makings of a trooper deck look like a lot of fun, running a whole bunch of troopers
I think
and just
every stormtrooper has the trooper keyword, and there are tons of fucking stormtroopers.
yeah.
Tons.
I think it could be fun. I think that having uh, a leader that lets you play troopers out of aspect could be fun uh, to run. I'm not sure what that looks like yet, or if that will happen, but I think that might be a fun thing.
You could even throw this in Nala Se.
Doesn't she key off a clone?
Yeah, but all the clones are troopers.
And then run a green base? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And there are tons of clones.
Do we want to talk about it as I have foreseen? Do we
Yes,
want to talk about ramp?
pull it up. Let's discuss it.
I
I
love the art. I want to start
Yep.
with I like this piece of art. This is
yeah,
pretty. I like it.
The art is awesome. Um, my first impressions of this card were very overzealous. I first read this card and I was all like, I want TDR back because I'm a baby. And then then after you guys talked to me about it, I was like, okay, you're right. This is not an unreasonable card for what it does and its cost.
And so, like, what are some key differences? One, it lets you look at the top card of your deck, not what was TDR 5 or
Seven.
10.
Seven.
Seven,
Seven.
seven,
Yeah.
seven. Look at the top card of your deck. You may use the force, consuming your token. If you do, play that card at costs 4 less. So, one, hypothetically, you want Scry. And two, you have to have your force token somehow, some way in order to make this work. And the easiest way to get a force token in the X pack is to run a base that grants you force, which immediately eliminates Target Town on the competitive scene. And so that's
Interesting.
why I feel like this card is more balanced because the easiest way to gain your force token is to use one of the 27 HP any color base that says when you attack, you get force. And so there's a lot of setup to this where TDR was the setup.
Yep.
Mm.
Makes me wonder if this is going to make Thrawn 1 good. Being able to reliably look at your top card to know, yep, I'm going to play my as I've foreseen. Congratulations, turn 1, and I'm eating your face with something that costs 4 less.
I think
Oh, but
Yoda
if you can get the force, can you get the force on turn one?
Maybe, maybe not. We don't know yet. Or maybe it'll be a turn 2 play. I no idea.
M Makes me wonder if there will be a base or an ability that just automatically starts with the force.
you could do Yoda sensing darkness to make, well, no, wrong aspect. But like hypothetically, if there was a light side version of this, Yoda sensing darkness would work for this too. Anything that lets you draw and look and or return a card.
Yep. My first my first thought when I saw this is yellow seems to have a lot of ramp. It's not permanent ramp. It's individual card ramp, but it feels really weird that yellow is getting as much ramp kind of cards as green, which is supposed to be their shtick. So I'm not sure I'm a big fan of the yellow ramp
Yellow
thing.
villainy continues to feel overtuned just based on what we've seen.
Agreed.
I don't think that anyone would argue that yellow in general is the most powerful aspect, and I think yellow villainy is more powerful than yellow heroism.
I
Except
sometimes
heroism is where a lot of the success is being had with
th-
Han.
some people are so unhappy with the level of bounce and hand hate in this game that they preface they have a what am I trying to say? They while playing online, they will have
Disclaimer.
uh, a prerequisite disclaimer. You have to promise not to play these cards or something. And I've seen that a couple times in person and on Reddit posts, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I think about it. I think it's kind of silly because
Agreed.
are you really playing the game?
No, you're playing the game that you want to play. It it is not good sportsmanship.
Agreed. Very much agreed.
Yeah, I agree.
Learning how to lose is probably the most important part of playing any competitive slash cooperative game. Learning
How
how to
about
lose is a critical life skill.
I was gonna say like that learning how to lose is important to life.
Absolutely. Overall, art looks good. Like
Yeah.
vehicles again continue to be uh, the highlight standout. That scythe card, gorgeous.
Yep. They've definitely stepped up the art in this set, I think, quite a bit.
Well, God, man. Yeah, I almost feel like if they just led with the Carbonite art for the game would the
Prestige
I don't
card.
yeah like the prestige template. Just imagine a whole set like that. Just in general, like that's what you can anticipate with a new set. Yeah, I just think I just think it would be I don't know. I think it makes me think Carbonite boosters are unnecessary. I think that level of art would sell the game. Like they wouldn't need it. Like they'd sell out everywhere because people would want those cards.
I hear you.
Yep, very much agreed.
Like if I were walking by a table of Star Wars and that's what all the cards looked like on the table, I would stop everything I was doing
What
and I'd
is
be like,
that? What are you
"What?
playing?
Yeah, what is this? Those are beautiful."
And I know these people, so you get the IP and you get the great art. Like that's huge. Yeah. We are getting
Uh,
off topic on art again, though.
My fault. My
I
fault. What's next?
mean, it's a card game, and it is a visual representation of the fantasy that you are trying to live out. And so art is an integral part of playing the game. Like for instance, I would never ever play this Chewbacca card because the art is fucking horrible.
Except he's an amazing card, which means you're gonna play the card.
Well, yeah,
Like,
I just have other copies of it. I just won't play that copy
fair
because
enough.
that
Fair
copy
enough.
looks like poo.
Fair enough. All right, so do we want to talk about resourcing? That's the
I
next subject.
I think we are at time, and I have time constraints
Okay.
since we're looking at 9:21 on Best Coast.
How much time do you have?
I need to run to the grocery store, and then I need to do dishes, and then I need to go to bed.
So you don't have time.
I have no
Sounds like you're an old man and we need to wrap up then.
Then let's wrap up, and when we'll just talk about the next couple topics in the next podcast.
sounds good. I love
There's
you
always
all.
next week. Alrighty, thank you for joining us, Mom. We really appreciate it. Thank you for not Mom. Not that
You're
anybody
still
else
there.
listens to us. Definitely not still there. We love you all. Have a good week. We'll see you
And
later.
remember, Swooper friends,
Super
forgiveness is
friend.
divine. Forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.